record to the cloud? So we are now recording, Alex?
That's correct.
Thank you. So the owner is Augustus Metcalf, and the proposal is conditional change of use in the commercial residential zoning district and flood hazard zone overlay to expand the existing RV campground use to allow tent and car camper camping, and to increase the duration of the campground season to operate from April through November. We're going to be looking at Article 2, Section 221, 222, 224, 226, 271, 272. Article 4, Section 440, 450E. Article 6, Section 603, 604C, 606, 8, and 9. Article 7, Section 705, 710, 720, 721, 722, 730, A, B, C, D, 8, H, L, and 732F. I did not realize that we had a sign application, so I left out Article 8. We are going to be looking at sections 801, 802, 803, 830, 831, 832, 833, 842, 843, 844, 850, 870, 871, and 873. God forbid we miss anything. So, to the board, are there any conflicts of interest or ex parte discussions?
No.
Thank you so much. You're the only one going to give testimony?
I think so.
Would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear that the testimony you provide is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you so much. So what we do with these hearings is we ask one of the members of the Development Review Board to sort of be the manager, and John Gannon has agreed to manage yours. We've got some questions about the cabins. So I don't know if, John, you want to start with that or how you want to go about it, but we do have questions on that. I'm not exactly sure it's a complete application because we don't have the information on the cabins. So we'll do the best we can, but we might have some additional questions. Thank you.
Okay, well, I'll start with the exhibit list first and just read through that. Gus, tell me if there's anything missing. But exhibit 1 is the Town of Wilmington cover sheet. Exhibit 2 is the Town of Wilmington Zoning Permit Staff Summary Report. Exhibit 3 is the application for change of use, 3 pages. Exhibit 4 is a map of existing structures and campsites. Exhibit 5 is the proposed use site plan. Exhibit 6 is map of wetlands and flood hazard areas. Exhibit 7 is emails between Jeff Savak, Vermont Agency of Natural Resources Regional Engineer, and Gus Metcalf, wastewater permitting requirements, 4 pages. Exhibit 8 is the Vermont Agency of Natural Resources Permit Navigator results, 10 pages. Exhibit 9 is the elevation of proposed freestanding sign. Exhibit 10 is the DRB findings of fact and conclusions of law for 179 Vermont Route 9 West dated May 26, 2022. And Exhibit 11 is a butter list and certificate of mailing. And finally, Exhibit 12 is the warning for this hearing tonight. Live. 20. Is there anything missing?
Oh, boy, this sounds like everything.
Okay, I think it is.
Yeah.
Good. Do you want to first just provide a synopsis, a brief summary of what this application entails?
Yeah, so I'm trying to take the 3 sites that I have, allow tents and cars to go there, have them use the bathroom there that it's out there, and put up a little more formal sign. There's like an A-frame thing right now, and try to make one of them cabins into like a camp type store, firewood gifts, things of that nature, recreational stuff too, maybe. And I think that's kind of it.
Okay. Let's talk about the cabins for a minute, because there isn't much information in the application about the 2 cabins.
Yeah.
I understand from the Exhibit 2, which is the staff summary, that these are two cabins that have been in existence for some time. I believe in the email trip back and forth with Jeff Sebeck, he said the cabin's been around since the 1940s.
Yeah, I mean, they were there when I was there, and they've been there far before me. Yeah, I mean, we looked back in the owners and stuff, trying to find a wastewater thing with Jeff Sebeck. And neither of us could find any, but he came back with his, his email there.
Okay, and so the cabins were in use until 2016. Is that also correct?
I mean, it depends on the use, I guess. I've been using them. I mean, I put stuff in them. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, they haven't been allowed to be used for anything else really.
Okay, because in your email to Mr. Sebeck, you say that the cabins haven't been used, were in use from the 1940s until 2016, and then later you say the cabins are currently not currently in use as we're in the process of renovating them.
Like I store stuff in the one. I have, well, and the other thing is I had to kind of stop because it's my understanding I'm not kind of able to renovate them.
Well, that's why you're here, to get permits.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's part of the reason. I mean, I kind of started messing with them there. But right now they have building materials stored in them. They got all kinds of stuff stored in them. That's my stuff.
So have you filed an application to work on the cabins?
No, I mean, the bathroom thing this was made before any of the floodplain stuff was there, and it was a 150 square, it's under 150 square foot, and it's replacing the cabin that was there.
So how long has the bathroom cabin been in use?
I mean, like formally, or that's the thing is, I mean, it's been used.
Formally.
It's been used, but I mean, it was also just kind of, not recently, but it was made, like remade.
Can you explain that a little better?
Yeah.
I mean, because, part of what we're trying to understand is what renovations you're proposing to make to these two cabins. I mean, that's how they were referred to in the zoning administrator summary, that there were two cabins, both about the same size. And so we're just trying to understand. So let's take the restroom cabin.
Well, I guess, do we have a map of the zoning app to just make sure we're talking about the right?
We have the map that you provided.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so there's one cabin that's way down on the end, and then there's one up. They're kind of separate.
Right. We see there's the camp store and then the bathroom structure that are referred to on the map. So let's just talk about the bathroom structure. Is that an existing cabin that's been around since the 40s, or?
It was an existing cabin. We had taken it down. It was rebuilt as a under 150 square foot thing on that footprint back before you had to get a permit to get. They didn't do that in the zoning, in that flood zone.
So how long ago was it rebuilt? Did you rebuild it, or was it a previous owner?
No, I rebuilt it.
Okay, so it's since you took ownership.
Yeah, it's probably been 8 years, 10, 8, something like that.
And has it been in use since then?
I mean, by me, by friends, by people I say, yeah, you can go use that. It's not formally in like a use with the town, but it's there.
It's a functioning bathroom.
Yes, it's flushing toilet stuff. Yes, and it doesn't need any work. It's got a roof and it's got walls and it's got a floor.
Okay.
It's on blocks and secured there.
So you're not proposing to do any renovations to that structure?
That one I'm just trying to use that existing thing for these 3 people. Well, not 3 people, but these 3 sites to use that. Yeah.
So I'm sure you're not familiar with the zoning ordinance because only us are.
I try to be, but it's incredible.
So there are certain, so the reason we're talking about it is because there are in certain parts of the ordinance, there are things that say if a building's been abandoned
Right.
for 12 months, then it is no longer a valid building. There are certain things, so that's why we're asking these
I mean, I certainly
questions.
wouldn't call them abandoned. I mean, I got private property signs on them. I go in them.
But
store stuff in
you
them.
consider this building to have been in use. It's not abandoned.
No, definitely not abandoned. It was rebuilt in the spot, and it's been kind of just informally being used.
Okay.
I had it pumped. They pumped the tank, the septic tank. Ran a
So that's one of the, but that's one of the questions that, when I said we had questions on the cabins.
Oh, I get it.
That's one of them, because in certain sections in the ordinance.
It's confusing to me too. I don't.
So you're just trying to get a permit to utilize the bathroom structure for the 3.
I mean, basically not even. I'm trying to get the tents. I'm trying to be allowed to use the tents. I mean, they are going to use that bathroom.
Because your original permit was just
for the
RV.
RVs, yeah. No,
So there was never any talk about bathrooms, because it was just for RVs, so they were using their own bathrooms.
and that's how I've been advertising it.
Right, so that's why we're confused and asking the question about the bathroom, because we weren't even aware there was a functioning bathroom. So that's why we have got those questions.
Yeah.
So, and that's why, as I said, there is a section in here that says if a building isn't used for a certain number of months, then it's abandoned, but you have been using it.
Yeah, I've definitely been using
Okay,
it.
all right, so that answers that question. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the camp store. You want to
So
describe?
that one, after talking about it a little bit more, the cabin I marked may not be, I may have to change it to the other cabin. Because the way I was understanding it was if I fixed it more than 50%, it couldn't be a residential use, but it's just that way anyway. Where it has to be the 50% to fix it at all.
So,
And this other cabin is in much worse shape. I'm not sure, and I'm probably going to have to change this to the cabin that's right next to it. To be the one
are these, again, going to the part in the
these are
zoning
not even
ordinance?
put back up. These are originally there, and I mean they're dry.
So
They're up in the air a little bit.
could they be considered abandoned structures?
Again, I mean, I store things in them. I use them. I have signs on them that are private property signs. I painted the front of them, trying to make them look a little nicer from the road. I'm trying to use them.
Okay,
Yeah.
just, I mean, you understand, we
Yeah,
gotta
I
follow
gotcha.
the book.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
You have a residence on that property as well.
Yep.
Yeah, Diane, but you need to read the application, what it says. That's part of the confusion.
Right,
I understand, but I mean, you're familiar with the property. Our buildings have been vacant, but I wouldn't, I mean, using them for storage, it sounds like it's kind of waiting.
They're definitely not abandoned by me. Since I've had it.
Yeah.
Okay. that's the
So-
right answer.
So next question, what renovations are you doing to the camp store?
I mean, it's going to be very minor. I mean, I kind of want to preemptively fix the roof because it's not leaking now, but it's certainly it's got like moss. It looks like some kind of green roof going on. So that at least needs to be done. The bones and everything, the bottom of it is totally dry and rot free. I mean, I don't see anything doing with that. I don't know. I kind of got to assess a little bit, but
So
I'm kind of thinking to either go bare bones or just bare sheetrock with like very minimal.
So part of the questions we're going to ask you when we get to the various sections of the zoning ordinance are really focused on the changes you are making to that cabin. Because if you're changing it from a cabin to a camp store, that's a change of use.
Yeah.
And that then because you're before the DRB, then we're going to ask you a lot of questions about what, if any, renovations you're intending to make to that structure to make it a camp store.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be very minimal. It's got sheetrock walls. I'm going to like patch them, fix the roof, like totally redo the roof. And I have a little thing here if you want it. I kind of did this.
Okay.
Do you want to add that as a new exhibit?
Yeah, we might as well, because it was kind of a. Yeah.
Do we need Alex to make copies?
Okay, so this is an estimate of the repair cost.
Yeah, just stuff could be
So we
done.
have a new
What I'm
exhibit.
planning on doing.
So this will be exhibit 13. Thank you, Gretchen.
Anything else you can tell us about the renovations, or is that document going to spell out the renovations?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really not planning on changing anything about it.
Okay.
In look or, I mean, it's basically going to be an empty room where I put in some shelves and, QR code, because something of that nature
Okay.
to pay or,
All right.
It's going to be very, very bare bones in there. I'm not planning on like a boutique by any means. More like a farm camp, kind of farm stand sort of disc
Okay.
feel to it, yeah.
Okay, well, when Gretchen comes back, that will be exhibit 13.
All right. So we'll start with the articles. So Gus, Article 2 is the administrative procedures. That's why you're here tonight. You're proposing changes of use for the campground, to allow tents and non-RV type of vehicles, people to camp there. You're putting up a sign. And third, you're changing uses for the two cabins. So one's, I guess, a restroom, and the other is a cabin that's going to become a camp store.
Yes.
And so we hear information from you and anybody else who is testifying. I don't think anybody else is testifying. We then write up a decision, after having reviewed the case.
Yes, I just don't want the sharing. Right. Thank you.
And then if you don't like our decision, you have a right to appeal our decision. Do you have any questions about our administrative procedures? No. Okay.
I mean, Heather has her hand raised. Do you know who Heather is? Heather, can you try to speak to us? We know it's not working right. Thank you.
All right. Article 4 is districts and its uses. So your property is within the commercial residential district. And you're seeking to expand the campground, change the use of 2 existing cabins to a restroom and a camp store. So campground recreational vehicle park is a conditional use in the commercial residential district, and that's why you're here, because the DRB has to approve those uses. Article 6 is an important one. That's our flood hazard area overlay district. So there, we've gotten some of the answers to the questions, but one of the things is under section 606, the question is whether you're making substantial improvements or improvements. We can permit both. Well, let me back up for a minute. These cabins are 10 by 20 feet. Is that correct?
Yes, approximately. Yeah.
Okay. approximately, or?
I didn't, like,
That was what was in the zoning administrator's memo. Was it?
So those are the sizes that are on your assessment, so on your property card.
yeah, I mean, I haven't been out there with a picnic, so. You know,
So are we going forward that they are 10 by 20? Alex?
That is, so that's the size that the assessor,
The card on the
recorded
property?
when they did their assessment. Yes, that's in their property records.
Okay.
All right, and you're not planning on expanding the cabins, either one, the restroom or the camp store from its
Same footprint.
Same footprint. Okay, good. You're not going to be any closer to the waterway, the pond, or the brook, correct?
It's not moving enough.
Yep, didn't think so. All right, so those are the questions under Article 6. So then we're going to go to Article 7, which are the various standards that apply to most DRB hearings. So because these cabins were built, or at least in the 1940s, if not earlier, they're what we call non-conforming legal structures. They existed before we had zoning ordinances in Wilmington. So one of the issues there is you can't change the footprint of a non-conforming legal structure. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you're not planning to change the footprints.
Okay.
And you're actually not doing anything to move them or anything that would increase their nonconformity in any way. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm going to focus on section 710, which is our use performance standard. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions. You can answer. There's not going to be any continuous, permanent, ongoing, or frequent vibration that is discernible at the property line from any of these change of uses. No. Okay. So any noise, frequent noise in excess of a normal conversation that could be heard at the property line?
And actually, I have, from the previous thing, I have a noise, like quiet hours, and we had talked to the nutmeg. I think the nutmeg had brought it up, and I.
Okay.
I
So you
put
do
in
have
some
quiet.
kind of quiet time and generator rules and stuff. Yeah.
And what are your quiet hours?
10 to 7, 10 to 8.
10
I
to 8?
haven't looked at it in a while. I believe it's 10 o'clock to 8 a.m.
Okay. Will there be any emission of dust, ash, smoke, or other particulate?
No.
Good. Will there be any operations that create electromagnetic, liquid, or solid refuse or waste, heat, cold, dampness, explosive, fire, glare, or other hazard which will cause injury or damage to human or animal health, vegetation, or property?
I believe so.
Okay. Now we're going to focus on section 721, which is our general standards. They focus on, the capacity of existing or planned community, municipal, or educational facilities. This isn't going to impact the municipality or education or education schools.
Might bring a couple extra people.
Well, that's a good thing. All right.
Hopefully.
Will it have any impact on traffic?
It shouldn't. No, it's the same amount of sites and stuff.
No more than the original proposal, correct?
Yeah, some of that stuff sort of was answered in there. But yeah.
Yeah. It's not going to impact air quality. No. Okay. Is it going to have any impact on the town's character, or is it in keeping with the character?
In a good way? Yeah.
Okay. obviously it's potential economic development.
I'd love those cabins to not look like they look good.
I do too.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, big plus for me.
They're awesome.
All right. All right. Now I'm going to ask you to go to section 730, which is the specific standards.
Well, lighting.
I am about to get to lighting right now.
Oh, okay.
With respect to the two cabins, or the restroom and the camp store, is there going to be any outside lighting
No outside lighting.
at all? Okay.
You don't have lights so that people can get to the,
I do have a couple solar path lights. I guess there is a little.
so you don't have anything on the actual building so that people can open the door to get into the bathroom?
I'm in the camp. I don't know. I kind of figured they have a flashlight or something. No, I don't really.
Well, if you do, it has to be screened and downcast. And that's one of the things that we have to look at is lighting and glare.
Yeah. I mean, I have some solar path lights out there, but I don't really have any lighting out back.
So, like, if somebody needs to, is there going to be lighting inside?
Yeah, there's lights inside the cabins.
Okay.
So there's a switch or something, or they're not all the
I mean,
time?
right now the bathroom has a motion sensing solar. You walk in there and
It lights
it
up.
pops on.
Okay.
I mean, I could put a similar thing outside too. I mean, they're putting down too. If it's got to be there, I don't know. I mean, it's.
Well, it's.
I kind of figure to keep it. I'm trying to kind of keep it very minimal out there. I don't want a ton of lights.
Okay.
But just, we need to just know, because that's part of,
Yeah.
if you were to decide you wanted to put a light after the fact, you would have to come back to us. So
Should I say there might be a light then?
think about whether,
Well, no, if you say there might be lights, then we're going to ask you exactly what type
I'm
of
really
lights you're
not
gonna put
planning
on.
on there being a light there. There's not ones currently on the outside.
Okay.
okay. Just letting you know that if you want to put lights on, now's the time, because you don't want to come back.
So for the people who are camping in tents, and if they drive, I assume some of them will drive, some of them may cycle, they would park in the RV.
You're
Yeah,
using,
I mean, there's plenty of space for them to be right at the site. Yeah.
and you're using the same location as the RVs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just going to be, like either or.
There's
It's not
still
gonna
3
be-
sites.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's the same for.
Are you making any landscaping changes?
Not changes. I might clear out around the cabin more. Brush and stuff, but
Okay.
nothing, no like earthworks or anything.
And land and water management, are you making any changes that could impact water, that could cause water pollution or erosion?
So,
So you had certain conditions with the RVs.
yeah,
Those conditions will be still existent. So your 2022 permit, those conditions are not going to change. You might have new, different conditions with this permit, but those conditions are still there, which are the hours and the generators and all
Yeah.
of that.
yeah, I thought that, yeah. I have signs stating those things too.
And I think at that time in 22, we talked about access and egress and all the rest of that. That's not going to change either.
Well, it's all the same. There's all paved accesses into the 3 entrances there.
Just wanted to be sure you were aware of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I saw in your communication with Jess Savek that you talked about expanding the campground. There didn't seem to be any information in your communications with him about the restroom or the camp store.
I mean, my understanding from his letter was that you could use what had been there in 2007. That's what I read in there. which would be, you know, it's, I mean, honestly, in 2007, the Christmas barn was there, that enormous, you know, it was about a 2.5 story, 2,000 square foot barn that had the business in it. I'm 90% sure that was tied into the same thing, because it wasn't on the sewer.
Okay.
And then there was what, 6. What was that there?
All right.
Yeah, well, bigger cabin is a duplex, I think, but there were six cabins. And one of them's kind of that bigger one that's still there.
All right, so I just want to confirm something. I'm just going back to Article 6 for a minute. So there are no improvements going to be made to the restroom.
Right.
So there's no change in value. And the reason I'm asking this question is because Section 606 discusses substantial improvements and improvements. They still can both be permitted, but there's a question about determining the fair market value of the property and whether the improvements are increasing that fair market value by greater than 50%.
No, I mean, that building is a sound structure and it's got a.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't believe for the camp store, the $1,200 you're listed in Exhibit 13 is going to increase the value by more than 50%?
I mean, it's replacing the roof. It's really not.
Okay.
It's nothing major. I'm trying to kind of just sustain them. And keep these
No, I understand that. We just have to go through.
We just have to ask these questions. Sorry, Gus. We're not being
I'm
mean.
trying to answer you.
You're doing well.
All right. So that gets us to the sign. So let me pull the sign up.
Before we do that, Crystal, do you have any questions, comments?
No.
Diane, you're good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Thank you.
Yep, here it is. All right, so we have the measurements for the signs. Those are correct.
4x4 by little
Yeah.
bump on the top.
4x4 with the little thing on top. I will say that is not in compliance with our.
Well, you know, I didn't know. I had read something like that, and maybe I got it backwards. I mean, I'm not totally sold on that either.
Okay. Well,
It was my understanding I don't really need to comply with that either in that area, right? In that zone, or?
It's
or
a
do I?
sign that needs to be permitted.
Every sign has to be.
Oh, okay, I
permitted.
thought there were different, like in the village, it needed to be that
There's different
exact shape,
size
and then if you were
requirements.
outside, it could be different, but
Yeah, I think that the size requirements change based on which zone you're in.
maybe it's, yeah.
But,
Yeah, I mean, I certainly don't need the bump up. I think in the picture there, I put a little tree, or like maybe it would be a little logo or something, but it could also be a 4x4.
So Section 871 sign design guidance says compliance with the following guidelines is required in the historic design review district, which you're not in, but are recommended in all other districts. And one of the things they suggest is simple flush-mounted rectangular signs.
Okay, I thought maybe I read it backwards. I was thinking, I think it says something about maybe not having the little.
Yeah, it
bump
says
out.
colonial signs with curved tops, broken pediments, and ornate design elements are not consistent with the history of Wilmington.
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly not like 100% sold on the need for that
Well,
little bump up, but
okay.
kind of either way though, yeah?
Well, if you say, I'm not going to do that, then we can put that in our decision and we don't need to worry about it.
Easy peasy.
I just heard recommended, that's all.
Yeah.
I didn't hear need to, but
That's true.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, I mean, I mean, I could make it a square.
Square, fine.
Yeah,
Good.
I really, yeah, doesn't matter.
Okay.
The sign won't block people from seeing the road or anything like that. It's not going to obstruct anyone.
You know, when people come in and out, you've got to be sure that the sign isn't in the way of traffic.
It's up. It's probably, those posts are, it's probably 3 feet. Like if you're sitting in a car, you would see under it if you were in a larger, but it's also set back from the right of way there. It's out of the right of way. So it's like when you pull up, you're not looking at it. Like if you're, the guardrail's more in the way than the sign would be.
Is the sign going to be illuminated in any way?
I got a couple solar lights out there, so I would say yes.
Okay, so if it is going to be illuminated, that lighting must be downcast.
So
And
not
shielded.
solar, lighting.
They shouldn't be pointing up.
They
Solar
gotta go
lighting,
like that,
okay.
yeah. You have to be sure that the lighting cannot in any way impact a car coming from either direction.
Yeah.
That's why it's gotta be downcast.
And I assume that sign's not going to be internally illuminated in any way.
This is true. There are buried lights there already in the ground,
There are lights in the ground.
you know, pointing up, but it's all there. That's the thing, is a lot of this stuff is just,
Is that,
I mean, there's literally wires and aluminum sockets.
that's back from the Christmas barn days?
Yeah, whenever they were pointing at that,
That's
Sign
before
there.
you couldn't do that. Now you can't do
yeah,
that.
so.
Now you have to have down, you can light the sign, but they have to be headed downcast.
Okay.
Gotcha.
No moving parts to the sign?
No.
Okay.
No, the sign cannot be internally lit in any way. You can't have like one of those open signs.
I mean, I haven't decided on 100% of material. I'm thinking like, I don't know, they have like aluminum coated stuff or they have wood, but.
Well, you should
yeah.
talk to Alex
Yeah.
because there are very definite rules about signs.
Okay.
Right. And so I would look at, section 870 and 871, those sort of detail the guidance with respect to signs. Like you can't use neon colors for signs.
I'm kind of planning on the green that they are right now. The posts.
Well, just before you do anything,
Yeah, okay.
confirm with Alex,
Yeah.
please.
And is this an existing post that the sign's going to be attached to?
Yeah, there's 2 posts there.
Okay.
I have flags on them right now, but
Okay.
Christmas barn posts, probably.
yeah, or Benny Bird cabins. I don't know. That was also a thing at one point.
Long
but,
time ago.
Yeah.
Okay, I am finished.
And Diane, you have any questions? Thank you. Crystal?
I don't.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your coming in. We appreciate everything you're doing, Gus, and the hearing is now closed. You will get a report from Alex on our decision.
Okay.
Thank you. Danielle, come on up. Can you call Brian so that we can bring Brian in? Thank you. Sorry that our system is dysfunctional.
Could we get a third chair?
I'm sorry?
Right, get a third.
And I'm going to open the hearing on application 2026-059. The property address is 117 West Main Street. The owner is Tom Fox and the agents are Brian and Danielle Dunn. The proposal is to demolish the existing principal structure and construct a self-service car wash with a 1-bedroom apartment on the 2nd floor, and it is in the village zoning district. The applicable code sections are Article 2, Section 221, 222, 223, 224, 226, 227, 228, 271, and 272. Article 4, Section 440, 450B. Article 7, Section 710, 720, 721, 722, 730, A, B, C, D, F, G, and H. I didn't see anything in there about a sign. Is there a sign permit application?
So I've spoken with them about that. They're going to be submitting a separate application with me after this.
So whatever the sign permit application
Can I pause for a
is-
second?
If it's not such that the zoning administrator can't approve it, you'll have to come back to the DRB. So I highly recommend work with Alex to be sure that you don't have to come back to the DRB. As much as we love seeing all of you, right?
Brian's trying to say something.
Can I interrupt for a second since we're having technical difficulties? Yeah, can you put that phone in the front of the table there? Towards the
I
board?
can't hear Brian. Can anybody else?
Yeah, I can hear him.
Okay. Okay, we do need to be sure that anything Brian has to say is recorded. So
Problem
let's,
is
yeah,
with the
let's,
audio, so the recording should have the audio.
Yeah, 'cause
preserved,
he's
even
on
though we're not
Zoom.
able to hear it.
right. Do you want to, are all of you going to be, let's give you another one of these. Thank you. Perfect. So, to the DRB, are there any conflicts of interest or ex parte discussions?
No.
No.
Thank you all. And would you please tell us who is with you up here?
So this is Vinny.
Yeah, I'm
You can
the
introduce yourself.
contractor, going to be helping with. the
Okay, thank you.
Tom Fox.
Thank you.
Property owner.
And Brian. So are you all going to be giving testimony? Would you all please raise your right hand? Do you swear the testimony you provide is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So as with our last hearing, we do have one member of the DRB who's kind of the case manager, and Crystal is your case manager. So we'll turn it over to Crystal, but there will be questions from all of us.
I did want to present these two, kind of just like updated pictures we did of like, for a visual
Okay.
of what the building is like.
Is there enough for? Oh,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Thank you.
Super, thank you so much.
So I will add these when I read off the exhibits.
So this will be exhibit 17.
I might need to identify them separately because they're not all the same thing. So I'll just read them out when I get to the end of the exhibit list.
Okay.
Okay.
Would you like me to make additional copies of that? Do you each have one? Would you like me to make an additional copy so that you each have one?
You want to just share?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
I can share.
I mean, we're.
We'll share. Thank you.
Okay, so before I ask you guys to just give us like a synopsis of what you're gonna do, I'm gonna read off all of the exhibits and then I'm gonna add these at the end. So what we have already was the Town of Wilmington DRB case cover sheet as exhibit number 1. Number 2, the zoning permit staff summary. Number 3, the application for zoning permit and DRB review, that was 3 pages long. Number 4 is the business plan, 4 pages. Number 5 is site plan number 1, the V-Trans submission. Number 6 is the V-Trans commercial driveway connection standards. Number 7, site plan 2, traffic flow and setbacks. Number 8, site plan 3, aerial image, snow removal plan, and parcel map. Number 9, the elevation drawings, which was a total of 5 pages. Number 10, there was a floor plan drawing that was 2 pages long. Number 11, images of structures similar to the proposed structure, that was 2 pages. I wonder if we should. Okay, I'm just gonna add this. Number 12, email dated 26 June between Agent Brian Dunn and zoning administrator with project details and clarifications. That was 2 pages long. Number 13, email dated 29 June between Wilmington Public Safety Superintendent John Lozelle and Agent Brian Dunn and also zoning administrator regarding water and wastewater allocation capacity. Number 14, the car wash water usage presentation that you guys put together, which was 2 pages. Number 15, the abutter list with date stamp of July 2nd for the notice mailing. And then number 16, copy of the warning. We're gonna add number 17, 3 pages, images, proposed images of the proposed structure. Number 18, driveway layout, top of the map. Sorry, I'm gonna type this as I do this because layout. And then That will be 2 pages. Is this the one we
I
already
think you already
had?
have that one.
Yeah, it looks similar. Okay. So 18 is 1 page. And then I'm going to make 19. I think we also have this one as well.
Okay.
That looks similar.
I wasn't sure when I made this.
And then number 19, we're going to do the engineer, letter from the engineer. Looks like just their scope of work. And that's number 19. Everyone got those? All right. So now, would you please just give me in your own words a synopsis of what it is that you guys want to do at this spot?
I'll let Brian start with that.
Okay, Brian.
Good afternoon. Thank you, everybody, for having us and the opportunity to present to you today. Yeah, Danielle and I would like to propose the removal of the existing building on the lot 117 West Main and construct a 2-bay inside self-serve car wash with an external bay as well for usage of town utility vehicles, plow trucks, and probably boats on trailers that are not far down the street would have the use of that external bay to include vacuum areas on the property. In addition, we would have a 1-bedroom apartment over top to assist with the housing issues we have in town with that. Yeah, long-term.
Yes.
Perfect. And I noticed in the application that it said something about phasing. Am I to understand that you were planning on doing something in phases?
So we were more or less starting with the car wash, focusing on the ground first, and then finishing the apartment upstairs.
Okay. Okay. These are awesome, by the way. Thanks. This is helpful because it was actually kind of hard to piece together the other images. Okay, so thank you for explaining the project. Basically, what I'm going to do is go through several of the articles that are in the zoning that apply to the project. I'll ask you some questions. I'll also just make sure you understand what they say, and then we'll just go from there. So Article 2 is basically covering all the administrative procedures that have to do with DRB. They outline definitions, they explain the role of the DRB, the responsibility of you guys and submitting an application, directions on how to handle changes after the DRB decision is given, explains who may attend and be heard at a public hearing. At this point, we've gotten the application. I know that there's some things still in the works. We'll get to that later about like wastewater and things like that. But all of the application is complete based on what I need to see, but we might have more questions. And then now we're going to take your testimony in addition to that. And between those two things, that makes your application. So do you have any questions about Article 2 or why you're here to see us for anything that we're going to go over? Cool. All right, so Article 4 discusses all the districts and uses that we have in Wilmington. They talk about what development can be done, what the rules are, all the fun stuff is listed in there. You guys are in the village, or the property is in the village district. The zoning administrator gave us a little write-up. He helped us explain what's going on for us. And basically the proposed uses, the automotive services, which is what we're considering the car wash to be under, correct?
Yes, it does seem to fit under the definition of automotive.
So that use is a conditional use, which is why you're here to see us. The DRB approves conditional uses. And then dwellings is a permitted use. So just because it's more than one thing, that's why you're here to see us. The application says that the proposed principal structure is 30 feet by 46 feet with 27-foot high height on the building. Does that sound accurate even with the inclusion of the exterior bay?
So that is the dimensions of the structure.
Okay. And then
the exterior bay, which you'll see in the drawing that Danielle just provided to you, And it's also sketched out in one of the other exhibits. It's a 12 feet wide by 20 feet long concrete pad
Okay.
with a cleaning boom over top. So I did not include that in the structure measurement.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to clarify that and make sure I
Yep.
understood. So. Okay, perfect. And then the lower level, according to the drawings, has the 2 individual car washing bays, then this pad on the outside, then also an office and a bathroom.
Utility room, and
Okay.
maybe a small bathroom in the office.
Okay, and then that's all the stuff on the lower level. And then everything on the second level would be the apartment.
Yes.
Great. All right. So, okay, so starting with the demolition of the existing structure, you're going to remove everything that's currently on the lot.
Correct. Yes.
She's like, no, it's not that. Okay, and then basically just leveling everything and starting fresh.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see here. I'm just making sure I understand everything that's going to be going on there and looking at my notes here. So okay, and then there's also an exterior area for vacuums. Is that correct?
Correct.
And that would be on the rear of the property, not connected anyway to the actual structure in the pad.
It won't be connected to the structure.
Were there vacuums in the front too?
There's gonna be, we're hoping to put 2 vacuums in front of like the porch area, and then 2 in the far back, at the back of the property.
All right, so do you have any questions about the district that you're in or the zoning requirements for the village district?
Where does the village district end?
I think it ends, well, there's a map and I don't have it memorized.
That's okay. Yeah.
But I know it goes all the way to your neighbor, the
Yeah.
next house over, because that was a part of the village.
You know that new driveway road that was built, it goes to that.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Yep, that's where it ends.
Someone knows. Yeah, so you just barely make the cut.
Yeah.
Lucky.
Yeah.
All right, so now, does anyone have any questions about the zoning or anything? I'm about to get into section 7.
Diane, any questions?
No.
Thank you, John.
Nope.
Okay, section 7 is the use performance standards. This is where we ask a lot of like the noise and lights and all that stuff. So we'll get into those specific bits now. Do you anticipate any, continuous, permanent, ongoing, or frequent vibration that is discernible at the property line?
No.
Talk to me about hours of the car wash. I know it's self-service, but tell me how you anticipate it being used.
From sunup to sundown. We do not plan on keeping it open throughout the night.
So what will the hours be? Is it gonna be closed at any time or?
Based on the sun. Up to sundown.
Yeah.
So in the winter, you'd have shorter hours, you're saying?
Right.
Yeah, it would be short hours.
And the doors will just somehow lock and people won't be able to access them when it's not open.
Yes.
Okay. They'll still be able to access the exterior components though, like the bay or the vacuums.
Mhm.
Wait, did you say bathrooms?
Vacuums.
Sorry, hard to hear.
Yeah, my apologies. As I understand it, the bathroom is not a public bathroom.
No.
Correct, no.
Correct. Okay, great. All right, noise. So obviously it's important that we are aware of our neighbors. We live in a nice, pleasant place. The vacuums, basically the town has a noise ordinance. It goes from 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. How do you anticipate handling the sound of like the vacuums or things between those quiet hours?
We're not going to be able to operate vacuums.
I'm asking you how you anticipate to mitigate the sound issue of the vacuums between our quiet hours of 9 p.m. and 7 a.m.
Are they too loud?
Well,
That's
I don't.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah. What would be too loud? They're
So it
not
says here that-
loud vacuum cleaners.
It says in excess of that of a normal conversation must not exist at the property line.
But that's, just so I understand, it's during the night hours, you're saying?
Yeah, so the quiet hours are only between 9 PM and 7 AM. So it's specifically in our noise ordinance. I mean, I'm not reading the noise ordinance, I'm reading the zoning ordinance. They're two separate things, but the zoning ordinance says there can be no continuous, permanent, ongoing, or frequent noise in excess of that of a normal conversation at the property line. Recurring periodic noise in excess of that of a normal lawnmower at the property line is allowed, provided it does not occur between the hours of 9 PM and 7 AM and does not significantly detract from or diminish other properties' allowed use or land development. So basically, anything between 9 PM and 7 AM should not be louder, should not be.
Louder than a
They don't
conversation.
want-
Yes.
No.
No.
Recurring periodic noise in excess of that of a normal lawnmower at the property line is allowed, provided that it does not occur between the hours of 9 PM and 9 PM and 7 AM.
I'll put a placard on all the, that 4 vacuums that say 7 AM to 9 PM.
Yeah, just restricting people from using
That's it.
bathrooms.
They just can't be used between 9 PM and 7 AM.
I mean, unless they're somehow magically quiet.
Right, we're not really open
Well, so
anywhere.
But can someone go up
I mean,
in
you're-
the car and just activate the vacuum?
That, yeah, I wasn't expecting that question.
Sorry.
Because I've not experienced that with any other car wash, and we've done a lot of research. So we'd have to think through. My best answer for you would be to placard the 4 vacuums for the hours of operation.
Okay. Yeah.
If it gets used outside of that, we would have to make a policy change within our policies that we would turn the circuit breaker off to the vacuum.
I'm sure your tenant living upstairs would appreciate.
But I really don't.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay, so just, another thing to be mindful of then, with the other components of the, like the external bay and stuff like that as well. If there's parts of it that are, like we said, in excess of a normal lawnmower at the property line.
Yeah. The wash itself is pretty quiet. It's the components inside the building that make
Yeah.
noise, but we're going to be pretty heavily insulated to start with, so it's going to hear it inside the building.
I would assume that insulation is probably necessary too for like our winter. Okay, awesome. Appreciate working through that. All right, so is there any other air emissions associated with the operation of the car wash? Emission of dust, ash, smoke, or other particulate matter?
No.
Any sort of electromagnetic, heat, cold, dampness, explosive, fire, glare, any kind of hazard that would be cause injury to humans or animals?
No.
Let's see. Perfect. Okay, so general standards is section 721. Basically, we're just wanting to mitigate any adverse effect on things in town. Do you anticipate any negative impact on the planned community, the municipal or educational facilities?
No.
Any impact on traffic, roads, highways, pedestrian walkways in the vicinity? There's no sidewalks on that end.
No, but, so you're going to get it. You have to have a V-Trans permit.
So I can speak to that.
Go ahead.
Teresa Gilman and Danielle and I have had a on-site meeting and with Tom to discuss the entrance and exit, which is depicted on the drawing, the top of the drawing you have there, with an 18-foot wide entrance dividing the Vermont Bowl property to the car wash property with a 3 to 5 foot grass divider 10 feet long. That would be on both sides of the property for where the doggy hotel is, and Vermont Bowl would be grass on the side dividing the properties. The road coming off the entrance and exit would both be 18 feet wide, coming in and out off of Route 9. And we're also working with MSK Engineering, who's developing our sewer plans, we're likely going to have them do the engineering drawing for the driveway requirements because Teresa has certain radiuses and a requirement for 30 feet of pavement coming off of the road. As the entrance and exit, 30 feet of pavement. I have not seen that in town, so I've been doing a little research on that. But that's the current requirement. So there's a lot that goes into it. I think we're probably going to work between Teresa and MSK Engineering to handle all the requirements for the VT Trans 1111 permit requirements.
Great. Yeah, they have a lot of rules.
Yeah, I just, to be open with you, the 30 feet of pavement coming off of the road, I have a question about. Like, that just seems a lot. I mean, eventually Danielle and I would like to have the whole, I mean, it's a car wash, you kind of want to have pavement out there, but the expense at the very beginning with asphalt is there. So I just not seen that with any other businesses where there's that much pavement, right?
Yeah.
Coming off Route 9. So, but that's a question for VT Trans, not the DRB, I guess.
Yeah. So as long as whatever the V-Trans permit indicates is followed through when you actually execute, that's important, obviously. But then also, correct. I think the only other thing it sounds like you're in excess of like our setbacks that the zoning requires. So, you know, ours is, I think, front for village is whatever.
The V-Trans permit will be a conditional requirement before your permit will be fine, because we will have to have that. That will be required in our permit, it'll be required that be given to the zoning administrator.
Wait, can you repeat that for me, please?
She said that the V-Trans permit, the final permit that's issued to you, will need to be submitted to Alex as a condition of the DRB's permit.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so the last sections that we're going to touch on for section 721 include things that don't apply to you. And basically, can you speak to the decisions that you've made from a design aspect that are going to not have any effect on the character, aesthetics, or scenic value of the neighborhood or the area?
Yeah, so as you can see in the pictures you have there, it gives the town barn look and feel character. We're also possibly going to add a little cupola to the top, which will match Mr. Fox's building next door.
Will there be geese on top as well?
No, we're going to
just kidding. Did you? I haven't been down there in a while. Those are not part of the current zoning.
Yeah, it's just going to be white with black trim, keeping it pretty basic with a nice front porch out front. Clean
are
and
the
neat,
doors? The doors are black
with a country feel.
And they basically close when you're inside there, or they're open during opening hours?
They'll be open during opening hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
So we're heating the inside bays so we can have usage of this over the winter time.
Yeah.
Everybody knows how our winter is.
Yes.
So they're going to open and close through the winter time so you can serve that energy, right?
Yeah.
But as we would pull up through the bay, the door would open and they could wash their vehicles. We desperately need to get the salt off of our vehicles right now.
Yes.
And that's the purpose behind it. But yeah, so 9 months out of the year, the doors will be open during business hours. But in the winter time, we'd have them shut to serve that energy.
Yeah, that makes total sense. All right, so section 722 is basically just wanting to make sure that we preserve the character of Wilmington. Land development and uses in all districts shall preserve the character of town, consistent with its rural and agricultural heritage, conforming to the following: preservation of the town's character, making sure that it contributes to the character of town, that, you know, there's rules if formula businesses want to move here, maximum square footage, it doesn't apply to you, building scale conformity, and then utility placement. Is there going to be any, since you're sort of starting from scratch, are we putting have you discussed yet with like Green Mountain Power, your electrical is going to be underground, you're going to have lines coming off of the regular, it's just the normal stuff, or anything unique?
Just normal. We need
Overhead.
to move the current pole that's in the middle of the property right now.
Yes.
To the back of the hill, and Green Mountain Power has already surveyed the site and given us estimates to move the pole onto the property of 117 still. And then it's just traditional running the wires overhead into the building.
Okay, great. And that is on town sewer and town water. Okay,
Correct.
We'll get to that shortly. All right, so we'll get to that in just 1 second. I want to ask you.
Elaborate on that for you if you'd like. So
Yeah, I'll be there in just a minute. We're like really close. So lighting and glare. I'm sure you heard from the previous hearing that there's specific rules about lighting in Wilmington, downcast and shielded. In the images, I see some like gooseneck lighting along the sides, and then over near the vending. What sort of lighting will you have on the back side of the pad? Oh, it looks like more goosenecks.
Yeah.
Okay. So just so long as all of the lighting that is on the building meets that zoning requirement, then there shouldn't be any concerns, but they do actually have to be like completely shielded. They can't be clear and then have like a light bulb inside. It has to be like properly shielded and then downcast. Yeah.
What about lighting on the vacuum area?
I haven't thought that far ahead with that. We probably should require one. But everything we're going to do is within the town ordinances. That is downcast and shielded.
One other note is if you put the power line on the back of the property, Green Mountain Power does like a utility light program.
So there's no power going to be back on that rear pole. It's a support pole. It's actually a support pole to support the electrical pole that's across Route 9.
Yes.
Right?
Gotcha.
Which, I've got to pay to move it backwards in order to support that pole, but we're not putting electrical to it.
Gotcha.
But the rear vacuums, it will have electricity there, obviously, to support the vacuum operation. So we could do a support pole going vertically next to the vacuum with a downcast shielded lamp. Everything, like the way my wife is, everything has to be exactly consistent, right? So all those lamps are going to be exactly the same. I'm just adding a little humor there, dude.
Great. All right. So Section 730B talks about safety. I think primarily the only concerns of safety that we normally try to make sure we address as a DRB is if pedestrians are walking somewhere that cars go, and having mindfulness of, if someone's backing up, or just awareness of where pedestrians are and then where cars go. So in the situation that someone's using the wash pad, it looks like the driveway goes behind there. It'll be clearly, obviously you said the wash pad is going to be a concrete pad. And so it'll be delineated in some way that's visually separate from the driveway. Or it's all asphalt.
So the driveway will come out as it shows in there around to the back of the building. We would pull onto the pad.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's probably, the only, someone shouldn't be walking from like a vacuum somewhere else. Obviously they would be vacuuming in their car. Is there room here? The drawing is difficult for me to like understand the flow of a car because it looks like the vacuums are in the driveway. So this says 40
the
feet.
vacuums will be backed by kind of like where the hill starts to go up. So it's going to be far enough away from where the wash pad is, where because people
car can still pour
around too. So
So even if there's a car on the wash pad, another car that wants to use the vacuums can
Yes,
access
yep.
those and
It
get
would
in
fit.
and out.
Yes, that's correct.
And if someone
Yeah.
pulls in and
About a 15-foot access way between the vacuums and the pad.
all right. Any other questions for safety that you guys want to
Yeah.
address?
So looking at the vacuums in the front of the structure, how is it right in the, what is it? It's exhibit 5. It shows the vacuums like in the middle of the drive. So does that mean somebody's gonna have to pull in and then back out?
Yes.
So there's one on the left and there's going to be one on the right. So you can pull into the vacuum and clean your car before you back out and go into the bay. Or the same thing on the other side, you wash your car, you come out and then you pull in for the vacuum your car out, back out, and leave. Very, very similar to the way the configuration is in the Brattleboro car wash, where you drive into their car wash, back out, or go into the vacuum, back out, go into their line, go through. As you wash, you go out of their car wash and then into the vacuum. It's kind of where we got the idea from. So
Yeah.
Is there any way that the vacuums could be placed in what's now the 40 by 20 grass area so that people didn't have to back out?
Well, so I just didn't want, for safety reasons, anybody any closer to the road.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So Danielle and I actually went over this with Teresa Gilman of VT Trans when we designed the traffic flow for the driveways. Originally, she wanted one entranceway only. And we worried about, someone vacuuming their car and little kids running around loose, but it's just, so we specifically designed it this way in effort to keep safety in mind, right?
Yeah.
The easiest way to do this.
I mean, it makes sense to me because your car is parked and it's out of the
All car wash
flow.
vacuums, I think, drive in and back out. I don't know of any drive-through ones.
Yeah.
There's one in Greenfield, you drive into
Yeah.
the side of it, back out.
Back out. I think the only concern would be the one where the entrance, or I guess either one of them, since it's both sides. But let's say, you're backing up and someone's pulling in. Obviously, that's the only time in which.
Correct.
If someone's coming off of Route 9, they're not going to slow down that much. So that's it. That's the only reason I think.
So how do you pay for your car wash?
So we, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go.
So we have, our machines, they take, tap, you can swipe your card, they take coin and cash.
It's inside of the bay.
Inside the machine.
Which is
There's one in each bay, including the exterior.
okay, good.
So you have to get out of your car to pay.
Yes.
Well, you got to get out of your car.
You gotta
do all
get
the
out of your
things.
car to wash it.
Yeah.
But the machine is in the bay where you wash your car.
Yeah,
Okay. Great.
like Hoffman style, but yeah. Okay. Sorry, don't know if we're allowed to say that. Okay. So the exhibit that we have 7 that showed the traffic flow, what I'm hearing you say, Brian, is that it doesn't have to have a specific in and out anymore based on your conversation with V-Trans, or it still does have a specific in and out?
It has a specific in and out, yes.
Okay, so the entrance is the one more towards town.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, perfect.
And have you looked at signage for that?
Not yet, but we're gonna have plenty of signs to make sure that there's no question, in, out, careful, all of that.
So all of your signs have to be approved. So
Yeah,
anything, once you get the plan, you need to show it to Alex, and if it's beyond his capacity, he will have to come back to us.
But there's all kinds of things in signs about informational signs, directional signs. They're all listed in the zoning.
Yeah.
So
Not
that
all signs
it
require
makes
them.
space for those. I mean, there's accommodation for that type of signage.
Yeah, Dover's sign is gonna do whatever they need to do with it. I've already consulted with Taylor on construction of signs.
Okay.
He was on vacation for the last 3 weeks, so I should know roughly.
And then this actual sign for your business I see is notated on this drawing. And that one, since it'll be a freestanding, you'll just make sure it complies with the zoning in terms of size.
Yeah, just talk to Alex.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, parking. The only thing I had a question about with parking is that per the zoning, the number of parking spaces required for a dwelling unit is 1 spot per dwelling unit. So where will the tenant who lives upstairs park?
So the back left corner.
Okay. And the space, there's sizing requirements. So just make sure when you're doing your planning, the zoning says like whatever, 10 feet by 18 or something. I don't know off the top of my head, but
It's changed. I can't remember what it is, but
regardless,
it did get
just check the
smaller.
zoning.
Yeah.
It's in 730D, and it indicates exactly what the size is for the parking space.
It's required.
And you'll probably most likely want to have some sort of signage that says
There should be a sign
private
that says,
parking, tenant parking, private
Yeah,
parking, whatever.
right.
But other than that, the office is meant for, will there be a person in that office all the opening hours? Anything like
Not all the time. It would be me,
Okay.
in and out,
Okay.
doing things, that kind of stuff.
Okay. So I guess if you're there, the other question is like, you would need to park somewhere as well.
You're gonna have to have a parking spot for the employee as well.
There's no
Whoever
employees.
the employee is.
Yeah, there's no employees.
It's self-service, but
Right.
like an office is also considered like a use, and an office requires
It requires parking.
one parking
It's by square.
by square footage, yeah. So actually I thought it was 400 square feet or something or more. Maybe it doesn't.
Well, if we need to put in 2 parking spots.
Yeah.
we have plenty of room.
I'll get clarification on that, and we'll make sure that it's, because you have the tenant or the dwelling, and then you have the office.
One parking space for every 400 square feet of business or office space.
Yeah, so we'll just do 1 tenant parking and 1 office space.
Yeah.
Parking spot.
So 2 spots. All right, and now, the one we've all been, oh wait, hold on. Road development, we already talked about V-Trans. Is there any sort of, aside from the grass that you're showing and then the grass running along the perimeter between the 2 properties, any other landscaping, buffer, bushes, whatever?
As of right now, no. I mean, I may want to do something in front of the porch area just to kind of make it look more cozy, like just for aesthetics, curbside appeal. But but other than that, pretty much just what we already have in the plan.
Okay, so the only thing to understand about landscaping is if you plant something, it's your responsibility to make sure that it's maintained and stays alive.
Yeah.
If it dies, you have to replace it, or the area doesn't need to look like unkempt or sad, any of those things. And then, go ahead.
I'm a fan of hanging baskets off the front porch to just make it pretty that way. We're
There
done.
you
Okay.
go. Okay, so the last one, the one we've all been waiting for, wastewater and potable water. So go ahead, Brian, I'm ready for your spiel. What you got?
So Daniel and I met with John Rizzo, filled out the sewer application last Friday. There's plenty of allocation for what we do there. Did a little research for the state of Vermont, figured out how much water usage we're going to use per car. And we have enough allocation to handle that with the 3 days, inclusive of the apartment. So we filled out the application, and he was going to present it to the select board tomorrow in town. In continuation of that, we have the proposal from MSK Engineering, which has 3 sediment traps for each bay, tied into an oil grease filter before it goes out to the connection of the town where it goes across the street to the sewer plant. So it collects any sand and salt we're getting off any vehicles and any grease and oil that are coming off as well to handle, which is the same setup as they have developed over at the Mover for the with the buses over there. So we kind of just duplicated their efforts when we decided to go forward with this plan. Also a bunch of research of many different car washes, but yeah. And Jessica Rizzo in town, she is the engineer on the job. She lives in Wilmington. That's going to help us design this whole project.
Okay. And you said that was 3 filtering processes per bay.
3 sediment traps.
Okay, thank you.
3 sediment drain traps. 1 for each bay with an oil grease filter, which would have a manhole cover on the top and right outside the utility room.
I don't have any other questions.
Diane, do you have any questions?
No, not yet.
You all set? John?
Just a question about the boom. Does the boom swing, or is it always going to be perpendicular to the structure?
That swings.
Yeah, all 3 of them swing to the store back at
Okay.
the building when the brush or gun is put away. Yep.
So if somebody doesn't know how tall their vehicle is, they're not going to destroy it. Thank you.
Yep.
I have none, so thank you.
Anything else you want us to know about the project?
I think so.
I'm gonna be like a regular customer.
We're excited to start.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, appreciate all of your time and your answers and your, these are really helpful. Thank you.
So thank you. We will now close the hearing and you will get our decision from the zoning administrator. Thank you all for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All for your time.
Thank you. So I have no new or old business, so we will now be closing the meeting. Thank you all. Are you going to turn off record? Thank you so much.
You're the designated record turn off person.